When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stuart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. So glad that you joined us. We have a great show, and we're going to talk about mindset. As always, we're brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management and their president, Tom Carpentier. But we're going to talk about having a successful mindset today in any profession, but certainly in the real estate profession. So we have Mr. Chris Kidd right here. He is with Chris Kidd Enterprises. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me in.
And tell people your website and what you do, and we'll get right to the mindset portion of the show.
Well, my website is chriskidd.com. It's CHRISKIDD.com. I'm a financial coach and basically help people with really getting the right mindset about money, handling personal finances, and being able to understand the investment process and handle their investments a lot better as well.
That's right. And to get started with mindset, tell us who you brought.
I brought a great person to talk about mindset, a buddy, Graham Betchart. He's the director of mental training at Lucid Performance. They've got a really cool app. He does a lot of work with professional athletes and having them train their mind to be peak performers. So, that goes along with any profession like we've talked about. So glad you could make it with us, Graham.
Yeah, really great to be here, you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Indeed. Graham, welcome to the show. Tell people about your company, what you do, and as we talk about the mindset, some of the clients that you've served and the type of clients that you're serving right now.
Yeah, so I'm the director of mental training for Lucid. We're a company that's helping distribute and scale mental training to people who face pressure, who need results, and are competitive. And so that's a natural fit for sports. And my niche was in basketball, and I was able to train the last 3 number 1 draft picks in basketball. And I work with several NBA players. And the difference at that level is all mindset, right? When the bodies are equal and the talent is equal, the separator is your mind. And so that's why I'm here, to help people figure out how to perform at their best.
A basketball player, they missed the shot several times in a row. How do they get back to that success? How do they get back to making the basket?
Great question. And what I found at the highest level of performance is what separates good from great players is simply how fast can they fail and move on to that next play. And so really missing a shot is not failure. It's not refocusing back to the task at hand. That's failure. So great players will miss 10 shots in a row. They simply have compassion for the missed shot, and they refocus back to the task at hand or back to the present moment, and then they trust their skills again, and they know eventually it's going to work. So that's the main skill at a highest level, is how fast can you fail and move forward.
Graham, it's Chris. I know that you've also somehow worked at least with younger players earlier on, because you worked with Aaron Gordon, who I still almost feel like he won the dunk contest last year. You actually worked with him and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
That whole dunk contest was amazing. But you've worked with Aaron since he was 13 or something like that.
Yeah, I started working. We actually met when he was 11, and we started working then. But at 13, we really clicked, and now it's he's 21 years old, so it's been some time now. But yeah, we started working when he was a really young guy, and he's totally bought into all this stuff.
So I assume that he was pretty new to this whole process, because I know a lot of, especially younger players, when they first start learning this, or even anybody in business, even if they haven't been exposed to stuff like this in the previously, it kind of takes a while for them to get a handle on it. What kind of experiences did you see with Aaron or any younger players as they're trying to learn to keep a good mental mindset?
Well, I think you hit it on the head. Like, the mental training, this is not a quick fix. This is not an overnight success. This is not some magic potion that you solve. It's like anything else. You put a little bit of practice in every day, and slowly but surely you get a little bit better. And like anything in life, we struggle through challenging times with stuff we're learning to get better at. And Aaron at 13, this was really challenging for him. And it's not like it's still challenging for him. It's just At 13, it was a whole different level of challenge. But his intentions were to get better at it, and his focus was to get better at it. So he put all of his effort into moving on to that next play after making a mistake. And by the time he was like 16 years old, you could really see it in him. You could see this guy who just keeps moving forward. And so it's training. It's like anything else. Like once you become aware, you got to practice. You got to put energy into it. And like anything in life, right, we're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes before we get good at something. And so that was his mindset. For me to get better at this, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, but I'm not going to stop, and I'll keep moving forward. And he just gets better and better all the time.
Indeed. Also, going back to the example of missing the shots, as it could translate, Graham, to the real estate profession. Well, let's say the realtor shows 10 houses and then they still didn't buy a house, or they make 10 listing presentations and they don't get the listing. What are the principles that you tell people, whether it's sports or any other profession, especially real estate? What do you tell them to kind of get back on track, and what should we be thinking about when we miss several times and want to get back?
I love it. Well, the first thing is we use the word win, right? All of us want to win. Whatever profession we're in, we want to win. And in real estate, right, it seems like a pretty obvious win when you sell a house, right? And there it is. We got this win. And that's essentially a result. And this is the irony that I've found in great success is you cannot control results. If you could control results, you would sell every single house that you put out there. A basketball player would make every single shot they took. That's simply not how it works. So we're gonna shift our focus from concerning ourselves with results to let's get into our process. And let's get into what we actually control. So if you look at the word win, W-I-N, what I do is I take off the W and we say, okay, if you want to win, what is in your control? Let's focus on that and let's stick to that, right? So if you're showing a house and you do everything right, you got a great attitude, you got a great effort, you're totally focused on the clients, you've done everything you can do, and they don't buy the house, what I would tell people is tell yourself you just won. That's success. And if you keep doing that process over and over again, for sure someone's going to buy the house that you're putting out there. But if all of a sudden you have one person say no to buying the house, and the next time you show the house, your attitude's not very good, you're not focused on engaging with the clients, you're worried about if you're going to make the sale, right? And your effort's not very good. Then you've lost your process. And in my mind, you've already lost. So if you can stick to your process, and you change your self-talk where you tell yourself, hey, I just did really good. Whether they buy it or not, I did everything I can do. Then you're actually building momentum whether or not they buy the house or not. And if you keep doing that process, you're going to be just fine. So it's really shifting what you call success. Success is nailing your process. What happens after that? Totally out of your control.
Graham, expand on that a little bit as far as talking to yourself or what to say to yourself. What are some things that you would recommend for somebody that kind of needs to get their confidence back up?
Yeah, well, great thing. So first of all, to me, confidence is an action. Confidence is not a feeling. I think most people think confidence is a feeling. Confidence is an action. You can always have a great attitude, and it can be an act, right? You may not feel great, but I'm going to act like I'm doing okay. Right? You can always work on focusing on the task at hand, even if your mind is going to, if I don't make this sale, that'll be 8 sales in a row I didn't close. You've got to bring yourself back to the task at hand, and you got to really learn how to focus on what's going on now. And so going into your mind, you have to change your self-talk, and you have to coach yourself like you would coach your best friend. So if you did everything right, and a sale doesn't happen, in your mind you have to change the way you think from I'm a failure, that didn't go right, to, hey, I did everything I could. I did a great job. If I keep doing this process, it's going to work. And so if you think about in basketball, sometimes I have players say when they miss a shot, I say, tell yourself 3 things. It looked good, it felt good, and my next shot is good. And they say those 3 things to themselves so they're building momentum going into that next shot. So I would tell realtors or people who are selling houses, have some phrases you tell yourself after you do your process and a sale doesn't exist. You might say, hey, it looked good, I felt good presenting it. Next time I present a house, I'm going to sell it. So then you go into that next space and you're already in a good energy, right? You're acting your way into the feeling. You may not feel awesome, but you're acting okay. So it's having language to coach yourself through it. And a big part of this is you're not always going to feel comfortable. So you have to be okay with, like, I feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to do my thing anyway. It's good, felt good, my next sale is good. And you just keep building momentum like that.
No doubt about it. Graham, here, let's take the opposite idea, and let's say someone is on a roll where things are going really well several times. They're breaking records. They're the top realtor in their company the second month in a row and the third month. What do you tell people to stay on top, to keep that momentum while you have it going so strong?
Yeah.
What is the thinking then?
It's so great you bring this question up, because success is equally can derail you just as much as not having success. So let's say you're on a hot streak, you're selling everything that you're showing, and all of a sudden in your mind you think, well, all I got to do is just show up tomorrow and I'll sell this house. Instead of realizing the reason you're selling is because you got a great attitude, you got a great focus, you got a great effort, you're doing all these things you control, and therefore good results are happening. What I would tell people is really stay grounded in your process. Because if all of a sudden you think, well, I'm just going to show up and things will magically work out, it doesn't work like that. And so if you can tell yourself, look, even if I sold the house yesterday, that's yesterday, right? And if I didn't sell a house yesterday, either way, I got to be here today. So you get back to your process today, you get back to being present, and you get back to doing the same stuff that you were doing that you know works. And that's how you can be consistent. So you have to have a consistent mindset every day. You got to reset every day. And whether you sold the house yesterday or you didn't, either way, today is brand new, and you got to get back to your process.
Graham,
so it never really changes. You got to come back to that, to the same stuff that works for you, whether great things are happening or you haven't sold anything for, a month or two.
Graham, two really quick questions since we're running low on time. One, about how much time does it take per day to continue the mental training to build yourself up like this for high performance? And then two, I know there's a lot of friends of mine that are in real estate, and they've got young kids that are coming up and playing really involved in sports and stuff. How can they get a hold of the Lucid app? So those two questions.
Yeah, well, first of all, just like anything else, right? There's no quick fix, so it's just about. What I say is, like, when do you practice focusing? The answer is right now. So wherever you are, open your eyes and be there. Like, really be present with what you're doing. And if you're into mindset and you're into working on this stuff, we have a great app that you can download. You can go to getlucid.com and check it out. You can go to the Apple Store and look at Lucid Performance. And what we tried to do is we give you a 5-minute workout every day. And what that is you put your headphones on, you hit play, and I lead you through a guided breathing exercise or meditation. Then I have you do some visualizing, and then I have you work on positive self-talk. So it's all the stuff that we've been kind of talking about today. I'm just going to guide you through it. And we do it 5 minutes a day, so we feel like, how can anyone say no to 5 minutes? Like, you're worth it. You're worth putting in 5 minutes a day for your mindset. So we look at it like it's there for you. If you want to do it, we'd love to help you do it. And if you look at this, that it's not a quick fix, and you look at it like, I'm going to work on this a little bit every day for the rest of my life, I think that's a good approach for everyone. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't work on this stuff, right? I'm always working on being present, being in the moment I'm in, working on my feelings, dealing when things don't go my way. Like, this is life. So we wanted to build this app so people could have this training.
Excellent. Graham, tell people how they can reach out to you, please.
You can email me, Graham at getlucid.com. It's a great way to stay in touch. I'd love to hear from anyone here if this is helping them. I feel really honored to be in this kind of real estate market with you guys. You were the first people to call me to want to talk about this stuff. And, my niche is sports, but I feel like this stuff helps, again, anyone that has pressure on them, needs to get results, and they want to have success in their life. So just an honor to be here. Really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it, Graham, no doubt about it. Also, Graham Betchart, and also Mr. Chris Kidd. Thanks for bringing Graham on the show. Chris, tell people your website before we take a break.
ChrisKidd.com, ChrisKidd.com.
Too easy. Thanks again, Graham. You are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Tittle. Your host, Bill Nampick. Stay with us for these important words. We're coming right back.
Stuart Tittle has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Yeah, we're talking mindset. We're talking real estate all the way around. And now we have a realtor. Her name is Gina Devers. Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very awesome. How important. Let's first of all tell people about your company and the area you serve and how you approached the real estate profession.
Sure. Actually, I've been in Houston since 2006. Devers Delivers is my own company. And I've held my license with multiple different brokerages over the years since I've been here. But I always say that it is the real estate professional that actually sells the property, takes care of everything for the client. It's not the big name. It's the agent who services you.
Indeed, Gina. And also, I love the name of your company. That's too easy to remember. People could be driving right now and they could remember Devers Delivers, right?
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Well, also, now, as we look at the real estate market right now around the different areas of town and the areas you serve, how are you finding the marketplace right now?
Excellent question. Everybody asks that, and it changes day to day. We are the fourth largest city in the U.S., and we are also number 2 in the Fortune 500 headquarters for the U.S. So we have a ton of people coming and going all the time. In regards to rental or investment, that market is huge right now. We've got folks coming in, expats coming in that are looking for just a contract term, 2 years, 4 years. And then we've got people coming in to run or change or train for high-level positions in many of those Fortune 500 companies.
In fact, as we talk about that too, and the market conditions, we just can't escape the fact that the rates are so low. And that it just makes it a good time to buy real estate. The rates are ridiculously low.
Absolutely. Residential is also wonderful. And it all depends. Houston is so large and there's pockets everywhere. So, you have some agents that'll say, oh, it's kind of slowing down. But, 2 blocks over, it could be, you put a house on the market and it's gone in 3 days.
Very interesting. And also, as we talk about the idea of mindset, whatever the profession is, and in the real estate profession and everything else, it's so important to have that right mindset. How do you go forth every day? Because sometimes it's hard. The realtor has to be so many things. Tell us about your mindset and what you do every day to stay sharp and stay with it and on top.
Absolutely. And I really appreciated Graham. I was writing some notes while he was talking when he was saying how fast can you fail and how fast can you move on from it. I mean, that was perfect for our industry because, the average is 9 to 18 months for your first sale, and a lot of agents coming on don't know that. And for agents that have been seasoned, you always have your sales go in a serpentine motion. So with me, that everything, your mental outlook is everything. You've got to wake up every day and commit to having a good day and doing the best, even though you've tripped and fallen, scuffed your knees, scuffed your nose. It doesn't matter. Get up every day and treat those clients like they are gold.
We always have to exceed expectations. There's no doubt about it, and sometimes it is hard to do. But in the meantime, what else do you do to just stay motivated, let's say, to stay motivated to reaching for those ways to exceed expectations?
Motivation, everybody's is different, but I would say family is always key. I know what I do is not just a paycheck. What I do, it's a feel-good thing. I love to be there when I'm in the closing room and my folks get the keys, watching their face. It's real estate right now is kind of a cumbersome transition to close. And, at the end of the day, no matter what the stumbles are, the family either selling or closing on the buyer side, they're so elated. They can't wait to get those keys, and being a part of that, making sure that everything does go as smooth as possible. That's huge motivation.
No doubt about it. And it's always interesting being at Stewart Title at a closing. All the things come into place, and there's so many details that go forth and to come together at a real estate closing. It's like a Swiss watch sometimes, I say. But I'm looking at your business card.
Absolutely.
People cannot see it unless they meet you. But your business card, I love this. It says, buy smart, get more, let Devers deliver for you. Boy, Devers delivers, eh?
Absolutely.
That's a great... How long have you been using that little tagline?
Well, I've been here in Houston since 2006. Devers Delivers has been around maybe 10 years before that. I've had that about 16 years.
No doubt about it. Now, as we're at the end of the year and beginning the next year, tell us about if you speculate and say, how's it going to be? How are we going to finish up the year? How are we going to look ahead? How's it going to be next year? What's your mindset there?
Ooh, that's a tricky one, too. I believe a lot is going to depend on the outcome of the election, obviously, and definitely don't want to get into that. But I strongly believe the outcome is going to really weigh heavily on which way the election goes. With oil going up and down constantly, no matter what, we have had our hits here, but no matter what, we'll always have an influx.
No doubt about it. Also, give us a quick word on when you take a listing, when you're serving the seller, give us how do you coach that seller as you list their home, and then also give us a word on how you coach the buyer at this point in the marketplace at the end of the year.
Excellent. Some of the things I coach the seller on, which we are in selling today and selling 5 years ago, totally different. I like to make sure that all of our I's are dotted and T's are crossed on the front side, because the banks and the appraisals are coming back very weird. Before I even list a property, I talk to my sellers and let them know I would do a inspection and I would also get a bank appraisal. Not that you're going to be able to use either one of those, but when you get the inspection, you're going to have an idea of what all you're going to need to fix. So you have that up front. That gives you a little piece of power. You know what you're going to have to fix. You know what's more than likely going to be negotiated on the contract, and you can build that in or out of your price. The other thing is with the appraisal, that is also going to help you negotiate price, and it's also going to help your owner realize either their house is worth what you as a professional let them know it's worth, rather than the house down the street sold for this and this is exactly what I want mine to list for and I expect you to get it for me. It's just a secondary way to show them you are the professional and that they really do need to listen to you because this is what you do every single day.
And once again, I'll say it a million times, the realtor has to be so many things. I don't know how you all do it, but in the meantime, Gina, tell people how they can reach you.
Excellent. DeversDelivers.com is my website. Real easy to remember. You can also get me on my cell, which is 832-301-9833. My email is Gina, Jenna, at DeversDelivers.com.
Indeed. One more time on the cell phone.
It is 832-301-9833.
And thank you, Gina Devers. In the meantime, you are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We're going to march on. Stay with us after these important words.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. And now another real estate, a realtor's perspective. That is, we have all the way from the Kingwood, even Lake Livingston area. His name is Tim Martin with Prime Stock Realty. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's so awesome to have you. It's also interesting to will be interesting to talk to you, as we really don't have a perspective of what's going on beyond Kingwood. So you can tell us about that. But first, tell us about your company and these areas that you serve.
Well, I own Prime Stock Realty. I opened about 10 years ago as a broker in that office. I was working with some of the bigger chains, the national chains, and just felt like I could devote my money here to my market and put my money in my advertising there and serve my clients better if I went independent and took control of it. And it's been a great success thus far with the Lake Livingston area and rural ranching type properties along the Highway 59 corridor.
And to me, all real estate is fun, but it sounds like there's an extra element of fun when you're dealing with a little bit more wide open spaces, lakes and farm and ranch and things like that. Tell us about the complexion of that market.
It is a little different. You know, when you're dealing with the lakes, a lot of time you're dealing with a different type client. They may not always be looking for their home they're going to live in. They're looking for that place as the perfect vacation spot, or even with the ranching or hunting land, the larger tracts of land, you know, this is a spot where they're going to spend their extra money, basically, and they're going to give up vacations other places so they can come here. So it's really important to them that you find the right place and it meet the needs that they have set forth. You know, for one thing, interesting with land, you'll find out is a lot of time the husband is okay if he just has a place where he can pop a tent and go hunting. But if you want to make sure his wife's happy, you have to find a place that's got a little cabin on it, got some dishes and some running water, keep the whole family happy. So you know, you got to look for all of the above to make them happy.
Yeah, I like that running water part too. That's
Well,
a good thing. But in the meantime, in fact, I told you before the show, I'll share with the listeners, one of the nice things about Lake Livingston, I have a friend, he lives in New York, almost in Canada, beautiful little town, but he lives there in the summer. And he bought a house in Lake Livingston, so he goes back and forth, and he keeps his Texas residency, so he avoids the extra state income tax in New York State. So it sounds like you have buyers like that from other states?
Oh, yeah, we have quite a few like that. We like to call them snowbirds on the lake, and it's okay. They're good with being called that. They recognize the name themselves. But, yeah, that is a plus of it. You know, some of the great things with Lake Livingston, it's like the Houston area here. You have, 1 week of winter, basically?
Right.
Lake Livingston.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Another difference with Lake Livingston that makes it stand out really in the country is the fact that Lake Livingston is a constant level lake. So you don't have the problems you do at a Lake Travis or some of the other larger lakes around the country that the water goes down or up. Lake Livingston is constantly 131 feet above sea level with not more than a foot of change a year. It's a beautiful lake. It's 90,000 acres of water, wow. 514 miles of shoreline. It actually sits in 4 counties, so there's always a way to find a spot that you like and enjoy.
That's very interesting that it has that distinction. I didn't know it did. But also, as we talk about Livingston, you serve other areas, but let's hit that again if we can. And that is, it's close to Houston, but let's talk about a price point. Let's say somebody wanted to buy a home, and they don't want a lot of land, but they want that place maybe to retire, maybe to go to on the weekend. And let's say they have $300,000 to spend or $200,000. Are there things in that range up there at this point?
Waterfront, the $300,000, the $250,000 and up range is where you start buying waterfront on Lake Livingston, and you can buy a pretty nice place for $300,000. The $200,000 would be the minimum you would buy on the lake. Now, if you wanted in a lake subdivision and wanted access to the pier, wanted to be able to see the water, wanted to park on the water, but didn't necessarily have to be on the waterfront, you can buy for $100,000, $125,000 on Lake Livingston still and get a decent vacation place.
That sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to be.
No doubt about it. Now, also, let's go beyond Lake Livingston and that area. But you serve people kind of in the north, and what else is going on with your company?
Well, we do a lot of acreage, 10-acre tracts up to, I have my largest listing right now is 650 acres. But we do quite a bit of acreage, and with the Grand Parkway coming into New Caney, we've seen a lot of growth because, I got up and drove here this morning, drove into Kingwood, and from my house in Livingston, it was a 40-minute drive. So it's really a hop, skip, and a jump, and with the way the cars are today, it's nothing to it. When I was a kid, it seemed like it was a trip, a long way to go to Houston. But so we have a lot of people who live and work in Houston. We've got some of the Exxon employees from the Woodlands because that's less than an hour drive with the Grand Parkway now, and coming up and buying 1 acre, 2 acre tracts, and either with existing homes or building homes so they can get out of the rat race, so to say, come up to the country and enjoy the scenery. And we get to drive home at night and see deer on the side of the road.
Interesting. And also, Tim, I would think there may be people, like I live right near the 610 Woodway area, Galleria area, if you will, uptown. But as people live there, there's probably some people that live either in the center of the city or where I do that probably want a place up in Livingston.
We get a lot of those people, a lot. And like I say, you can still buy a 1 acre home that's secluded because we have Livingston is actually on the edge of the largest forest in the United States. So we've got the National Forest up there, Davy Crockett National Forest, the Piney Woods National Forest, the Big Thicket National Forest, sitting right in the middle. So there's still opportunities to buy homes either that adjoin timberland so that you can buy 1 acre, 2 acres, have a rural place, but not a lot of neighbors because you may have 10,000 acres of dedicated forest land or timberland behind you, so you get to enjoy all the pluses of that country living without having to buy the whole 10,000 acres.
Yeah, I like that. I want a place right in front of all that. And plus, they probably take care of it where I don't have to. In the meantime, we talked about mindset here a little bit during the show. What is your mindset to be so successful in real estate and also to be doing some different things with your company? How do you keep your mind sharp? What principles do you always adhere to or try to?
In the first place, I'm an acronym guy, which is hard to say today. I've got a little bit of a cold, but
let me try to say an acronym guy. Yeah, there you go.
It's PMA, positive mental attitude. I worked with a gentleman for about 10 years in the car business, and the first thing he had us when we walked into the dealership every day, and I managed some pretty big stores for him, was there was PMA on the wall and ABC, positive mental attitude, and always be closing. And we had to live and breathe that, and we had to start that with every day. So I get up every morning, and I have these things on my walls in my house. I've got a good friend who I've taken up one of his habits, and interesting guy up in East Texas, but he gets up every morning and says, I'm not going to say his name, but he gets up every morning and says, man, place your name here. You're the best thing in the world. And this man gets up, and he's a successful guy, real nice guy. So I get up, and I don't go quite that far with it, but I get up and say, man, it's going to be a great day today. I'm going to have a good day. And I have my little ABCs and PMAs written on the wall, and that gets me started. And then I just, I try to think about what can I do to achieve on this day. What do I need to get done? What can I do to achieve? And what can I do a little different? I like to do things a little different.
No doubt about it. Well, I like what you're saying. Always be closing, and I'll add to that, and I know the movie this came from, Coffee is for Closers. You know what I'm talking about? Glenn Ross. That's right. Mm-hmm. Coffee's for Closer. Always be closing. Also, Tim, tell people how they can reach you at Prime Stock Realty.
You can reach me. My email is tim@primestockrealty.com. Again, that's tim@primestockrealty.com. You can get me on har.com. I'm listed on there. And primestockrealty.com at Prime Stock Realty on Facebook, and www.primestockrealty.com. So that gives you a list. You can find me. If nothing else, just Google Tim Martin and call me up.
That's easy to remember, too. And I like the idea when we think about Prime Stock Realty. That's also a great name because that makes me think about real estate as an investment. And it's always an investment, but it's always so much more, right?
It's way more. It's personal.
There you go. Always be closing. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Martin, one more time on your phone number, Tim.
My number's 936-425-0474. And thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. And we are going to come right back after these words. Stay with us.
If you've been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know unexpected and costly events can happen. Safeguard yourself against the unexpected with Real Estate Errors and Omissions Insurance, or E&O, through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Not all E&O insurance policies are created equal. How confident are you that your current E&O policy fully protects you? Stewart Insurance and Risk Management offers expertise in the real estate industry and tailors your coverage to correctly manage your risk. With Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, facing the unexpected just became a lot easier. Safeguard your future with real estate E&O insurance through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Call today at 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com to request tailored insurance options for you and your business.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now he's known as many things. He's known as Mr. Mindset on this show. He's known as On Time Chris, the one and only Chris Kelso. Chris, welcome aboard.
How you doing, Bill? What have you been up to?
Well, you didn't know you had those nicknames, did you?
Did not know about it. Just found about it today.
Mr. Mindset. Well, Mr. Mind. Well, also Mr. Mortgage. We forgot that one.
That is true, Mr. Mortgage. Yes.
And you're here today because you've been in the mortgage profession for many years, I think 13, 14 or so. But
Right.
you also have an announcement today as you are now with a new company.
That is true. You know, I was with Willabin Mortgage for 13 years. Prior to that, I was with Prime Lending when I started my career. But after a long search, and nothing against my previous employer, it was just a matter of I wanted to get some change. I'm a big believer in challenging myself, changing what I normally do, and stepping outside of my comfort zone. And so in doing a lot of research in the market, I ended up moving over here recently, actually this past week, to Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. So we formed the Kelso Group under Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and excited to see what's going to be happening in the future right now.
Wow. Fairway.
Fairway.
That's also easy to remember. So, and we talk about change and mind. Change is part of having the mindset, right? You have to be able to change. You have to want to change at the right time. So tell us about your thoughts there.
Well, you talk a lot about, and this show has all been about mindset. We talk about setting expectations, about putting the correct frame of mind out there. I've been in the mortgage industry for a long time. I've seen a lot of changes, obviously, from 2003 back into 2006 when anyone could get a loan, to 2008 when the market sort of fell out, and then back again in 2012 when the market was really strong and rates were extremely low. And so we've seen a lot of those changes that have happened over that period of time. And let me tell you, the one thing I was very encouraged about when I was out there actually looking for a new home, and I'll tell you about the reason why I was looking for a new home, but when I was looking for it, the great thing I remember, and I'm going to big shout out to everybody, is the fact is there are a lot of good people still in the industry. There's a lot of good mortgage professionals in the industry. There's a lot of good mortgage companies in the industry, and that was very refreshing to me because we have not been painted in a light, as you know, since 2008 as being an industry that was any good. One of the things is you listen to all these movies that are out there and you listen to all these books, et cetera, is, individuals and companies that were doing a lot of bad practices. And I'm not going to say there weren't some that were doing some of those bad practices, but I will tell you the ones that are standing right now are some very good companies. And I have to admit, I think we chose one of the best ones out there in Fairway. Steve Jacobson was an old Houstonian, now lives in Wisconsin. They're about a $15 billion originator right now. And everything associated with the company, from the culture to their number 3 on their mission statement, which is have fun, resonates with what we do and what we do here in Houston.
Indeed. Also, as people are listening to us right now, Chris, tell them the website where they can see the coordinates to reach you.
Well, you can go to chriskelso.com or you can go to fairwaykelsogroup.com. Are going to be the two websites we're going to have right now. Our offices are still the same. We've actually maintained all of our office spaces, so I've still got the 2 offices that I've got, one in Houston right off of the Katy Freeway and one up in Kingwood. And then we're going to be opening up some additional office spaces here over the next couple of months and over the next year. But phone numbers are still the same. You can still reach me at 713-256-9138, where I have me and all my team, standing by.
Man, that makes for a smooth transition. Glitch-free, indeed. Now, also, Chris, I say it all the time about the realtor having to be so many things during the But sometimes I forget the mortgage professional like you. You've got to do a lot. You have to know negotiations. You have to know about so many things and so many rules. How do you do it?
Well, the way I do it is I partner with professionals like Gina Devers right here. And,
she delivers, I heard.
And she does deliver, by the way. Yes, she does deliver. In fact, we just got through closing a deal this past week. And, I tell everybody is, being part of the real estate transaction, it takes a team. It's not a single individual. It takes title. Stewart Title. It takes mortgage. It takes real estate. It takes surveying. It takes a whole group of individuals, and you're only as good as what that supply chain, for lack of a better word, looks like.
It's like the link of the chain, right?
That is
Good word,
correct.
yeah.
That is correct. And so, you have to be able to deliver out there. You have to be able to close on time. You have to be able to provide products and services and underwriting services from a lending perspective that will support the vision and what the agent is selling, obviously, to their client. And also, there's a lot of expectations on the clients. I mean, Gina, you and I had a client that was moving here from out of state, and so they were very stressed in that regards. They wanted to go through a process, and they were also doing one of our great government loans. I tell everybody a VA loan is the best loan you can do, but it has certain nuances to it. So you have to know how to partner with correct agents, and you have to also know how to partner with your client to make that transition and that change, whether it be refinancing, purchasing, or anything in between, smooth.
Smooth. In fact, another observation I'll make right now, Chris, how you are having this transition right at the end of the year, the beginning of next year. Boy, timing is everything, and it sounds like it's just great timing as you're making this change.
Well, I tell everybody asks me all the time, is when is there a good time to change? There's really never a good time to change, but there's never a good time also to stay stagnant. So you have to always be moving. You always have to challenge yourself. That's the one thing I like about the real estate industry a lot is things do change, and we have a lot of changes that have taken place in our industry in general, which I think are great for the consumer. Things such as TRID, which are the integrated disclosure rules that came up in the 3-day waiting period. We have a lot of rules, obviously, associated with Texas as well, which are different than other parts of the country, especially if you're looking at cash out, what we call our Texas 50A6. But it's always about improving and offering additional benefits to the client, not only in what you can do product-wise, what you can do service-wise, what you can do people-wise, and what you can do relationship-wise with some of the great agents like you have here.
No doubt about it. Tell people how they can reach you again, Chris.
As always, 713-256-9138, or you can go to chriskelso.com, available 7x24.
No doubt about it. Mr. Mindset, Mr. Mortgage, on time. Chris, they call you. In the meantime, one more time on the phone number.
713-256-9138.
And all the best to you, Mr. Kelso. Thank you so much. And now, as we think about mindset, we also think about insurance. Do we? Really? Okay, I'm just exaggerating. In the meantime, I always think about insurance because we are brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. And now, Brittany Taggart. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, it's good to be back.
And we know we always talk about mindset. When you want to get the positive, great professionals in the insurance world, they go to Stewart Insurance and Risk Management because you are always fine-tuning the mindsets of your associates, right?
Exactly, especially within the real estate industry. I love how it was just described as a link in the chain. And that's exactly what our team looks to be for all of our partners. We're constantly helping home buyers every single day secure insurance for whatever property they're purchasing. And so we look to definitely be a value add for the real estate transaction. We want to be in sync with everyone from the lender to the home buyer to the real estate agent, everyone. So we really look to be a value add in that way.
Indeed. And as people hear the show, they may be regular listeners, but if they're just tuning in and they know Stewart Title, they've heard about us. In the meantime, sometimes there's still a few people out there. That's why we do the show. We remind them that they can also get home auto insurance if they have a place of business. Let's say they have a pet shop. Let's say they don't have a pet shop. In either case, whatever kind of business they have, you can get commercial insurance from Stewart Insurance and broker E&O, right?
Absolutely. Like I just said, we definitely specialize within the real estate industry. Absolutely. If you have a pet shop, that's amazing. We can definitely help you out there. But being a part of Stewart, we really look to stay within this real estate industry. That's where we focus. So if you operate within the real estate industry, need commercial insurance, if you have home buyer clients, that's who we help every single day.
No doubt about it. And let's tell them the website, Brittany.
So you can just go to stewart.com, and we have an insurance tab on there, business insurance, personal insurance, whichever one you are looking to buy from, and you can check us out on there.
And I like it, too, with the great service that you offer. Sometimes people are surprised. They say, wow, I saved some money on my auto insurance or on their home insurance. I mean, and they get great service.
Exactly. So that is one of the perks to working with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. We are an insurance broker, meaning our tie is to the customer. We have several insurance companies to select insurance from for our clients.
And I'll tell people as we've hit the idea of the mindset, having the right mindset. And when we go to Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, many people in this studio have not seen your office, but you have reminders about being successful, about teamwork. They're all over in a beautiful way. They're displayed to remind the associates every day to raise the level of services all the time.
Exactly. You have to be in the right mindset when we're helping customers. Our customers come first, and we would definitely want to be team-oriented. We want to be client-oriented. So we have to keep that in the forefront every single day. And what better way than to remind yourself in your office space?
That's a great idea. Also, Brittany, tell people how they can reach you once again.
So if you want to just give us a quick call at 866-845-4676, one of our insurance advisors can definitely assist you with whatever insurance you are looking to get.
Indeed. Stewart.com. Also, we'll remind them to go to the very first page, hover over insurance, and both of the categories, personal and commercial, will show up, right?
Exactly.
In the meantime, Gina, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
See, we sprung that right on you. In the meantime, also, tell us what else you'd like people to know here with a minute or so, Gina.
Well, I deal a lot with VA loans. I'm glad Chris brought that up. A large portion, my entire family are veterans in one way or another. And a large part of what I do is make sure that they know all of their benefit and take care of them. So utilizing the correct title companies and the right mortgage brokers to make sure that they get all of their benefit.
Serving those that serve. There's nothing more awesome than that, is there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, some of the things that as we wind up the year, what are the things that you're thinking about to get ready for the new year, just generally as we approach that, Gina?
Getting ready for the new year, like we were talking about earlier in the mindset, I think time management is a key to have that positive mindset, making sure that you have the time segregated for not only your business but your family and the education, making sure that you have all of that blocked out. Chris was saying it best when he was saying, the third bullet point on his new company was have fun. I believe, you do what you do in a business to take care of your family and to serve others, and making sure you have time to do all of that.
Got to have a little fun. Also, tell people again your phone number should they want to reach out.
Yes, it's 832-301-9833.
And here he is, Tim Martin. Tim, what about that time management? Time's hard to manage.
Time is hard to manage, and it is limited. There's only 24 hours in a day, so it is something we have to focus hard on. And with real estate, you constantly have the phone ringing, something happening. It's a very fluid job. So time management is something we really have to focus on in this business. And you better have a pen and a piece of paper and writing things down all day long, or you will get confused and lost before the day's over.
Indeed, yeah. You have to manage the time, and you have to have a block like Gina was talking about. But in the meantime, you also have to be ready for a surprise or two that happens and be nimble to change, right?
You have to be nimble to change. It is a very fluid business. I get up in the morning, every morning I check my emails first. That's the first thing I do. And I get that out of the way first thing in the morning to get caught up. And that's when I have my block to do things, because fortunately in real estate business, I've discovered people don't want to look at houses till later in the day. People don't want to be out searching till later in the day. So my mornings are my block to get my work done. And I make my own commercials for my business, and I've got a little production studio at home. So, if I list a home, I'll go take the pictures, and I'll actually do a walkthrough of the home, and I've got green screen technologies and things. I'll do voiceovers with it, but I'll make my own commercials in the mornings.
Production, can you make me look thinner?
I can. You're already beautiful, so I don't know how much
There
change
you go.
Points for him.
There you go. That sounds great. I'd love to know more about that. In the meantime, also, Tim, tell people how they can reach you.
You can reach me at Facebook. I'm very, very heavily on social media right now with Prime Stock Realty, and you could reach me at 936-425-0474.
Indeed, Prime Stock Realty. That's too awesome. Now, with the last couple of minutes, we're going to hear from Chris Kidd. Chris, what about time management? You got any of that?
Oh yeah, I would totally fall apart if I didn't. I've got too many hats that I wear. And time management is very important.
It's very interesting. And also, you always have great guests. It was interesting talking to Graham. We always learn when we talk and when we think about that mental aspect, because no matter how hard we try, the mind is attached to the body. It just works that way, right?
Oh, yeah. My website is chriskidd.com, so if you can remember my name, you can find me.
And who can't? chriskidd.com. And you know a lot of great people in the financial world and in the sports world.
Yeah, I've that's where I spend pretty much all of my time is one of the two, or a lot of times it's a joint thing with working with finances in the sports world.
Well, very nice. Thank you, ChrisKidd.com. And now, business development officers. Title companies have them. We have the A-team of business development people. And today, our guests are brought to you. Some of them are brought to you by Natasha Livingston and the great Steve Sheeny from up north in the livable forest. First of all, Steve, tell people your phone number and how they can reach you. And we thank you for bringing Tim on the show.
Well, we do appreciate you having us. And you can reach me at 281-299-8328.
Because you have two awesome Stewart title offices up there. Tell people, there's two of them right there
Correct,
on the
sir.
same road even.
Correct, sir. They're both on Westlake Houston Parkway. One of them is the Atascocita area in Humble, and one of them is Kingwood, just different sides of the bridge on Lake Houston there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve Sheeny. He's also known as Mr. Fearless. Indeed, and now, heading south, in the center of the city, Natasha Livingston. Natasha.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me. Two wonderful locations for Stewart Title as well. I have the City Center location, which is in the center of the city, as well as we...
Say that real fast.
Center of the city, yes.
There you go.
As well as I have the Royal Oaks location. Wonderful closers at both. Would love to hear from you. Where you can reach me direct at 713-468-8900. Again, 713-468-8900.
And you know, the mindset of this show is to squeeze as many people in as possible today. One last thing. Here's Chris Kelso. Chris?
Hey, what are you up to, buddy? How you doing?
Well, this is the final minute. Tell them how they can reach you.
713-256-9138.
If you're driving, don't write that down. In the meantime, boy, what a great cast. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show. And in the meantime, I think we learned a lot. If you want to hear the show again and again, to write some notes down, write phone numbers down, write mindset tips, go to Stewart.com/Houston. Again, Stewart.com/Houston, or even Bill Napick radio shows. That's my YouTube channel. You can see these guests. There's a whole bunch of them in here. They're crawling out the windows. In the meantime, until next week, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We don't know what we're going to have next, but it's going to be great. Again, Stewart.com/Houston, and get some of that insurance at Stewart.com. Get your home, your auto covered. No doubt about it. You'll save money. You'll get awesome service. And until next week, thank you for listening. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.